Welcome to Salamangreat format, everybody. It has been a great opportunity to tell you that, oh fucking boy, was I wrong. Oh man, I got a 5-minute lecture from my friend today about how I did not understand the full extent, and I had massively underrated the deck. And for that, I thank you, Keegan. But man, do I love being scolded. I love making videos where I get to be fucking wrong. Let's dig on into this discussion, shall we? Somebody's going to comment and say, man, Robbie's salty. I am not salty. I am graciously great to be corrected. Let's talk about this metagame discussion, shall we? First up, we got Salamangreat. Boy, oh boy, do I know jack shit about this deck. Ending on Roar and the Icarus attack and the Link 2 and a couple hand traps in hand. Well, that's not all you can do, folks. You can also end on a Mirage Stalio. You can Gazella back row. But what do I know? Kaijuing the deck does still hurt, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. I do think that is still very good. Now, you don't bring in Seer Mode for this matchup. Alright, stop that shit right now. Alright, not gonna be 3 monsters on the field. Now, in better discussion, you do have to play around literally one negate and an Icarus attack. I understand that that can be frustrating. Alright, so if you're... That's why the deck is kind of good, because A, it does recycle all of this shit. So not only do you have to play through the 2 cards, you have to play with the recursion that is coming the next turn. So, if I go Twin Twist or discard, and then I have my opponent Icarus attack 2 of my cards, at this point in time I have 2 cards left in hand, and I have to use those 2 cards to be able to stop their board on the next turn. Not a lot of decks can do that. I hate to say it, but listen here. That's why the deck is kind of good. Now, obviously, Kaijuing over their monster, continuing to attempt to play the game, will get you there. I mean, you're using the Kaiju to blink one of their Link monsters. Yeah, you do things. I do think that that as itself is overall, okay, sure. But, boy, oh boy, what a great time to be alive if you're a Salamangreat player. Like, your deck just entered into the room, and you're the best around. Now, I gotta talk about actually zombies here, and we're gonna use most of this video to talk about decks and their matchups against Salamangreat. So let's talk about zombies, aka Zombie World, the deck. I got a fantastic meme from Trent earlier. It was literally, your opponent can't, or it's all monsters on the field are not Cyber's type. It's something along the lines of, oh, your opponent can't summon Heat Leo, and it's like, Boulder Rock, stay strong, buddy. That's exactly all zombies want to do in this matchup. Now, zombies are a fantastic metagame pick if the deck was consistent. That's right, folks. I'm saying that zombies aren't consistent. You can comment in the comment section all you want and tell me I'm not right. That's fine. But Zombie World is an inherently good card until you read this card and it says 2 fire effect monsters, and then you're like, oh yeah, your opponent can still do what they want with this. So yeah, they can't make Belenix, yes. Okay, I get that. Stopping their reincarnation system is great, but overall, zombies still got problems, alright? Like, if a zombie deck can be consistent enough to beat Salamangreat, they'd be doing better in the overall metagame. I hate to say it, but, like I said, shout out to zombies. You have an okay matchup overall against, actually zombies have an okay matchup overall against the metagame, like, call it what it is, but Zombie World is pretty fucking good against Thunder. You know, the reason why the deck is actually still kind of beating in the format is because, like, if you got a Thunder-heavy event, like, a zombie player walks in there and is like, hee, don't mind me, I'm gonna just do what I want here. So, yes, zombies still infecting the format and doing relatively interesting things. Now, I've seen a lot of what the fucks with True Draco. Does True Draco have a good Salamangreat matchup? Question mark. And I use that question mark very, very loosely, because there's been a couple of True Dracos that just kind of came out of left field this week and got regional tops. And I'm just kind of like, huh, these events were pretty dominated by Salamangreat, but what the fuck's going on here? Why is True Draco doing something against this really powerful Salamangreat deck? And then I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, well, you know, when you go to use your trap card to send their monster to the graveyard off of one core tribute summon, and then the monster that you summon replaces itself, congratulations, you made a commitment of one normal summon. I mean, what's your opponent gonna do? Like, okay, so they Icarus attack, kill the diagram and the set spell that you just set, and you're just gonna go kill the trap card. Congratulations, it's fucking True Draco. You get to take your other fucking 4 cards and go, oh, alright, buckle up, buckaroo, and then you just slam Card of Demise on the table, and your opponent's just like, sorry, you're just better than me, buddy. If you can break their board without using Card of Demise, you did it. That's the True Draco matchup in a nutshell. Now, obviously, comments, feel free to correct me if I'm massively wrong here, but my Theorio tells me that, you know, diagram plus disruption should be enough to break that board. I mean, Card of Demise is just like, ugh, don't mind me, like, let me take my energy drink really quick. Yeah, I know it's water. But, man oh man, that is an interesting one. Now, if you're a Sky Striker player, let me summarize this matchup for you in a nutshell. Did I win the dice roll? Yes or no? Well, no. Okay, well, fuck. Sorry. Sorry. Hope you can play around your opponent. Did you open up hand traps? I know there are a lot of Sky Striker players right now that are playing Effect Veiler, that are playing fucking Ogre. People are afraid of playing Infinite Impermanence because of Red Reboot. I'm actually shocked about that. But Call by the Grave and Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, Droll and Lockbird. Alright, these 4 cards, Infinite Impermanence. These 5 cards, hand traps in multiple combinations, can actually pretty much get the game back to your next turn as a Sky Striker player. Now, if you win that dice roll, you got a couple questions you need to ask yourself. How many Widow Anchors are we going to be seeing? How many disruptions can I do to my opponent? And things like that. Sky Strikers do have an inherently terrible time trying to break a board of Roar and things like that. Like, I know going second Sky Striker was really big pre-Salamangreat, but man, that matchup seems so trash right now. Like, I actually feel kind of... I actually want to go back to playing going first the moment, just depending on how many Salamangreat players I'm going to have running around locals right now. But, I'm actually just disgusted at what that deck can do. But yes, correct uses of hand traps, opening up hand traps, things like that, like, you'll have no problem with Salamangreat, honestly. Like, I don't know. The deck is scary, don't get me wrong, but like, once you get Sky Strikers into a turn or two, that dice roll is so fucking crucial. It is ridiculous. Fucking dice roll formats. I love them. And then, the last one I actually want to talk about here is Danger Thunder versus Salamangreat. Look at me. How many danger monsters can little Johnny resolve before he gets Icarus attacked? That hand has got to dwindle so you can put those monsters on the field. Now, granted, alright, summoning Colossus does stuff. I guess your opponent can't search for their broken fucking field spell that lets them reincarnate. Oh wait, they can just dump it in the graveyard if they really want. Once again, this seems like a very dice roll-esque format, where if Danger Thunder wins the dice roll and produces these boards and go. Now, things like Ed's attack deck are going to struggle as well, because going second decks are like, well, fuck, I need to play through all these negates. You know, like, the Danger decks were looking really good up until, you know, a contender showed up at the table and said, well, I can play through 3 of your cards, and then, like, your last 3 cards just have to be that great. Now, I also open up hand traps, and you're like, well, shit, you know, great times to be alive. Now, like I said, Danger Thunder has the question that it has to ask itself. Did I win the dice roll? Is my hand optimal? Can I go? How many Colossus can I open up? Can my opponent answer those Colossus? Obviously, Salamangreat does have a shit-tastic going second matchup against some of these decks, and that's saying a lot. I know a lot of people are trying to curve their matchup, making Brionic is really good to spin back these large boards and continue to play. Yeah, I get it. Like, Brionic is a good card with Psychic Wielder in the deck, but at the end of the day, like, how great is kind of left to be determined at this point. So, yes, Thunder is an incredibly good matchup, but once again, dice rolls. It's all in the gotcha, baby. Did you win that 50-50? Yes or no? So, that's all I got for this video, guys. Please, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about our Salamangreat driven meta. And I'm out, guys. Peace out.
The ride never, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.